tell everybody before I get started, if you're not into paints or you're not going to be buying any paints or you're not an artist, you're not going to be painting, you can skip this video altogether or just fast forward it to the end when I do a pour if you want to watch that, because the first 90% of this video is all about the paints and my review on this paint palette from Arteza. Hey everybody, JoPaddy here, and today I'm going to do a review on the Arteza paints. I'm going to be mixing the paints separately, one with gloss medium, another one with pouring medium, and another one with Floetrol, and to see how the paints spread, see how smooth they are, see how true the color stays, and we'll get to it. I'm going to use a paintbrush also to see how that works on with the paintbrush, because I use a paintbrush a lot, and I want to see how smooth that is with the brush. I wanted to tell you this is what I got first. This is what it came in. It's a 24 set, a paint set color. It's all acrylic in the tubes. They're 74-ounce tubes. I want to say 74 ounce. It says 74 ounce, but it doesn't look like 74 ounces. But 0.74. Okay, all right. Let me start over. All right, everybody. I got the blues and greens, the orange, yellow, and the titanium white out on this canvas here. And this is a Arteza acrylic paint set of 24 colors in the 0.74 ounce tubes. This is the storage box that came in. And they are rich pigments, non-fading, non-toxic. And then the, let's see, the stretched canvases that they sent me, they're 11 by 14, 8 of them are primed and 100% in cotton, and they're also for acrylic or oil paints. All right, I didn't want to put all the paints out on here yet because I didn't want to have everything dry out while I was talking about these. So I want to get my fingers in here and let you know how that feels and how true they are to the color. I'm going to start off with the ultramarine. It feels smooth, it's thick, and it's beautiful color. It's pretty thick, but it's a smooth thick, so it's not like, you know, a hard paint. So in other words, this is the kind of paint right out of the tube you can go straight to the brush with. And I'm going to try that right now. And I'm going to dig into the cobalt blue. This is a really pretty color. It's a lighter than the cobalt that I'm used to, so it's almost got a gray tint to it. But boy, it's really smooth. And this paint is really highly pigmented. I can see how pretty it is. Very nice. Okay, and this is the cerulean blue, and I have to say it's probably one of my favorites. It's almost like it's really tealy. It's a really pretty teal. This green, this is the emerald green, and it's a little light for an emerald, but then again, lately I've noticed that the emeralds that I've been purchasing have been more lighter in color. Again, smooth. So I want to say I'm pretty sure they're all going to be smooth. And this one here is the phthalo green, one of my favorite colors. And this is really dark and deep and very, very pigmented. This is a Prussian green. Dark, more like a forest green. Prussian green is really pretty, and I don't even think I have any Prussian green right now. So that's good to have. So we're going to do, I'm going to put all these, one of these colors in the gloss medium here in a little bit, and the pouring medium and the Floetrol. Mix that up just to see how well it works with that. And then at the end of this video, we're going to do a pour with some of the colors to see how that turns out. Here's the red. This is called a scarlet red. Again, smooth, very scarlety, very bright. This is an orange yellow. That's what they're calling it. It's a very bold orange. I don't know why they would call it orange yellow though, because it's very orange. Here's the ochre, the yellow ochre, and that is a true color. Next is the mid yellow. That's pretty bright. This is the lemon yellow, and that is true for that lemon color, so that's really pretty. So this is the mid yellow and then the lemon, so that's really pretty. And then of course your titanium white which is a very solid bright white. All right, now I'm going to clean this brush off too, and then we're going to start on the other colors. I'll get those laid out just to see. I'm sure they're all smooth. This is so pretty. They're all pretty colors. I like to start mixing some of them in a little bit. Get some really pretty colors in there. All right, let me get these out and we'll talk about those. I found a green over here mixed in with my siennas, and this is a pale green, so I put that down here so I can compare it with the other greens. Just wanted you to know that it's pretty bright. It's like a bright green, really bright green. It's really pretty. Okay, now here we have, on the top row right here, we have the raw sienna. Again, very smooth. I got all red on my rag here. Next is the raw umber, another one of my favorites. We got the burnt umber, the Mars black, and last but not least, we have a cold gray right here in that pile. The cold gray has a tint of blue. It's like an icy color. It's really pretty, really icy. My raw sienna is a lot like the ochre, only it's darker and has more brown in it. So it's really pretty. We have the burnt sienna on top, which is more reddish, and that's a brick color. It looks like brick. The next one is a crimson red, and that is like a bright lipstick that you'd see on somebody in 1940. Very pretty. Next is a rose color, and I don't have any paints that are called rose, so I'm kind of curious. It looks pinky, but it's really pretty. Again, really smooth. These paints are very smooth. They remind me, actually, it's probably a step grade above, better than the Waverly paints that I buy. I actually like this, and I'll probably find myself ordering these paints, more of these paints, and ordering some of these products from Arteza. And I'm gonna kind of curious to see how it would look on the canvas. Okay, next color is a violet, and that is really deep, really, really deep violet. So I can imagine it would really pop if you mixed it with some other colors, like a lighter color like white or something, or gold in your pinks. Next is phthalo blue. We're all familiar with that. Very dark, deep pigment, very rich in pigment. I'm surprised at the bright and stay true to color pigment these are, considering they're not like a powder form. Very nice. I mean, I really like these a lot. Your primary elements have sheen to them, and these seem to be more true to a color, and you don't have to mix it. It's really pretty. Okay, and Prussian blue is last on the list, which has that purpley tint, nice and dark, dark, deep blue. Really dark. Ultramarine stayed true to be darkest until this came along. So the Prussian blue is always darkest, and it kind of reminds me a little bit, if it was a little bit darker, had a little more black in there, it would remind me of the Payne's Gray. It's very pretty and very dark. All right, everybody. I'm going to turn this camera off and get some cups out, and we'll do a little mixing to see how well it mixes with some other products. Okay, well, I'm glad I looked up because my camera wasn't on. I got started without you, but I'm glad I looked up before I finished this. Okay, so let me go with that again really quick. I got 3 colors. I got a cold gray and my rose and the violet from the Arteza paints. And the reason I picked this color palette is because I figure, well, Easter's around the corner. I'm going to try out these colors. I don't have any rose-colored paint. I mean, I've heard of it before, but I don't have any rose-colored. It's very pretty and pinky. Okay. So I got my turds of paint in there, and I mixed this first one up, the cold gray, with this Floetrol and 3 squirts of water. And I'm getting a good consistency. Actually not even seeing a lot of air bubbles in here, which is kind of unique for mixing it up like this, stirring as fast as I am. I'm looking for that consistency because it's important to me, and it should be important when you paint and pour. I'm going to add a little bit more Floetrol because this is the test anyways. Instead of adding a little more water, I'm just putting Floetrol in here on this one. And I will say that I'm a big fan of my Vallejo's and my primary elements and the golden fluid. But for these not being a fluid paint, they're fluids, but they're not totally liquidy fluids. And the primary elements are a powder form, so you got to make them fluid. Where your goldens is already fluid. And these are like, come out like toothpaste. My little turds of paint here. And I'm looking for that consistency that I love the absolute most. And this is important when you pour or paint. You want a nice, smooth runoff on your stick. Like that maple syrup. It should just run right off the stick in one continuous line. And this is perfect. All right. Set that aside. Let's go on to the rose. Okay, so now with the rose, I'm going to add my Vallejo pouring medium. Let's see how smooth we get from that. And I'll be able to tell once that the paint dries after I put it on the canvas. I also want to see what it looks like when it's dry. And I'll be able to see if there's any shine to it or whatever. And I think I might have to add a little more paint to this. I think I had a little too much pouring medium in here. Hi everybody, this is a very pretty color. I can see a shine to it, like almost a small purple hue. Very pretty. Ari's growling over there. Of course, I can't sit down and mix paints and have coffee and relax and do a review or whatever without the dog barking or growling or something going on. All right, this is about the consistency I'm looking for. On to the next color. And that's the rose. It's a pinky purple. Okay, and this next color, I'm going to add the gloss medium. Floetrol back over there. All right, shake this up. Let's see what we get. Very pretty. See if that gloss medium dulls the pigment at all. Usually Floetrol, and that will dull it just slightly. This is a really bright pigment. This is really, really pretty, you guys. I'm surprised. I mean, I don't know. I might start buying this stuff. I really like the consistency of it. I don't have to mess too much with the powders and that, like I do with primary elements. Of course, I'll still get my primary elements. There are certain colors that just cannot be mimicked there. All right, what I've decided to do was one more thing I wanted to test. And I wanted to test it, and I think I'll use the color emerald green, because that seems to be very pretty. And I'm going to test it with the some silicone oil, because I want to get in a good testing here on these paints and see how well that works and mixes in. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Vallejo pouring medium with this into my emerald green. This is actually a really nice consistency. All right, this is perfect consistency. It's just a little bit in there, but I'm going to add 1 drop of silicone now to really work it through the paint. And then right before I pour, I'll add 1 more drop. I only need 1, but I like to do it like this because I'm testing. And I want to see that work through I can see it on top of the paint, and I'm working it through the paint. we'll add that to the pour a little later and see what we come up with. All right, so I wanted to do that just to let you guys know. What I've done now was put some white negative space down, and I've taken all the colors and I've put them in a cup, and here's the cup. You can see that. I have silicone in the emerald green, and then the only other thing I had silicone in was this blue, and this is not part of the paint set. I wanted to also see how well these paints look and mix with others, as long as, as well as mixing it all together. So let's see how this turns out. And remember, you guys, this isn't a painting or anything. This is just an experiment, demonstration kind of thing. And I just want to see, we already know how the paints look, how they feel, and they look great dry on the board over there. So I'll have to see how it looks dry on here with the negative space. So we're just going to do a pour cup, I guess, and see where it takes us. Let me think. Well, you know what? It's just demonstration purposes, so let's do this. All right. So I don't have anything in mind. Remember that. I'm not trying to paint anything special. No seahorses or anything like that. I just want to put it on the canvas and see what we got. Got a lot of big cells. I put 1 drop in this emerald green yesterday when I was doing that earlier demonstration, and 1 drop just before I poured. But I mixed it a lot. I mixed it really good. And this is the paint that's been sitting around for a couple of weeks, and there was already silicone in that. So those are the only 2 colors. So let's see what I got here. See how this canvas is working out. This is a canvas from them as well. And I like the canvas. It had that nice beat of the drum. This is coming out really neat right here. It's like almost like square cells or dinosaur teeth or something. You guys see that? Look at this. Isn't that neat? Very unique. It's like a mouthful of teeth. And I see it here and here and here. It's just really neat. Just taking a look here. That green, that emerald green, sure is brighter and yet darker on the canvas. See if I can blend that in a little bit there. All right, let's tilt this a little bit. See what we come up with. Because there's just so much paint in here. I'm forced to tilt it. Bye-bye, teeth. Get our nice swirly, squiggly lines. Just want to see what we're getting here. I can almost see fractals over here too. See that? They're everywhere. First off, you guys, I wanted to tell you that this video is long enough, and I'm going to end up showing my dried pieces in another upcoming video this week. I'm really liking these paints. Matter of fact, Today I'm going to do a ring pour with their paints and add my own Payne's Gray, whatever, and no silicone, just to see how that turns out. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching the review. See you in the next video. Arrivederci.